Hello, welcome to the stream. Okay, so we are just created a new character in our Mori space, and we are just going to run tutorials. So, see what we've got here. Okay, so Aura, you can drag this, move it from the other, trying to get my attention. Eve is one of those games where you can truly be anything, be within the construct of the game. You can be a pirate, industrialist, you can be part of a major corporation, you can be solo, you can kill people, you can be nice, you can be a spy, you can pretty much do anything you can think of. And what we're going to do is just run through these tutorials, get things set up, and it just says to move around a bit. And we need to scroll in and out. And there we go. Double click any point in space to go there. Go that way. So we don't have our navigation or anything like that up at the moment. That'll come through with the tutorial. Okay, so we have a distress signal. Let's walk to the location, following the guide. With the left mouse button, you can move the camera around the ship. Quite nice ship, very gold. Kind of like a beetle shape. Okay. So there we go. We target the wreck. Scan it for you. There's the wreck. Following pointers. There we go. So we click on wreck and it brings up an overlay, which we can then just move the mouse over the item, and we can let go when we've got the item, in that case targeting selected. So left mouse button, hold down, and that brings up a context menu, and then right mouse button brings information or options menu where you can choose various things. So there we go. Our overviews come up. So have that. Okay, so we're going to select the hostile in the overview and target that. And now we have our interface up so we can actually start shooting at things. So let's do that. There we go. Seeker's quite a big ship. And I do like the explosions. So cool. Right. So just going to keep following the guide. and station in your overview, and right click on it, choose dock. There we go. Or in the top of the overview up here, we have some quick buttons for dock, approach, warp to. You can only warp to things that are outside of 150 kilometers range. So other than that, you need to approach, which can be pretty slow and time consuming depending upon how far away you are from something. But you get used to that. Okay, so going to docking station. You can click on any object and you will get an overview. Context sensitive menu. There we go. So now we have our neocon, which is our control center for how we access individual aspects of what we want to do, such as Z, which is the ISK balance, which is our money. Then we have inventory, which is our ship inventory. You can resize and dock the windows wherever you feel like. You just drag them round. And your cursor changes to a cross with a square in it. You can position those there. And then move that down, move that across. They will snap to the nearest window or the edge of the screen. Okay, so what we need to do is we've got the agency at the top. They are the guys that will give you missions. The missions will fall under different guises, from attacking, mining, exploration, things like that. So what have we got? Right, so seekers at a nearby wreck site. What we're going to do is activate the mission. So before we go, do we want to have a look at the ship station services? So loyalty points. Doing missions in different areas gives you loyalty points with the appropriate faction, and with those loyalty points you can buy certain items like very high level ships, like the Apocalypse Navy issue needs 600,000 loyalty points, and a Nexus chip. These are easily obtainable after a while doing missions at certain levels. That's a good one. Imperial Navy Command Mine Link. It's an implant. Costs 100,000 victory points, but 100 million ISK at the same time. Quite expensive for our low level player. And then we've got ship insurance. Now, when your ship gets destroyed, you basically exist in a pod. That is your neural interface to any of the ships that you possess. And when you leave a ship, you will exit and you will be in your pod. And when you go into another ship, your pod will interface with that and you control that ship. If your ship dies in battle, you will exit into your pod, which you can then navigate around and dock back up at a space station. Or if you're in combat with another player, if you don't get away fast enough, they might kill your pod, which is called podding for obvious reasons. in which case you will lose any implants and special items like that you have on your person, and they can loot any items that you had in your cargo. Now this happens frequently, and there's a website called the Z Kill Board, which posts all the major kills and things like that go on in game. And people have lost billions of ESK for being, in most cases, rather silly. In other cases, just unfortunate. But it's interesting to have a browse through that. So I will post the link to that into the website. You can go and browse and have a look. Factional warfare. We've got industry. This is where we can build items using blueprints, which we can obtain from the major markets or from the what do you call it? The player market. You've got a regional market, and then you've got contracts where you can obtain items. You've got ship fitting, so you can see your ship with the turrets. These are split into high points, mid points, and low points. And then you'll have rigs which go in here. Now, unless you're using very high level, what's called a Tech 3 ship, you can't swap rigs out once they're in, so you need to put them in, choose the right ones, and you will get advice on things like that. There's plenty of websites, or if you're in a corporation, they'll help you. High slots typically are things that do damage, or, well, in one way or another. So those will be guns, missile launchers, mining waste, or things to impede an enemy. So things that will drain an enemy's capacitor or shield or things like that. The mid slot is utilities, so we have an afterburner in there at the moment. You can also put active shield modules in here and passive shield modules. And then the low link relates mainly to structural capabilities, so hull, armour, cargo capacity, boosters, things along those lines. And the rigs just help with the manageability of the ship. When we go out into space, I'll show you the area where you can see your capacitor and your CPU level. This is your CPU. So this ship has a CPU of, where are we? It's over here somewhere. Can't see it because that's in the way. So the CPU has 161 gigajoules. Oh no, where? Capacitor. I've lost my CPU. Oh. Right, there it is. CPU, 144 units of CPU area where you can install things. Modules all have, if we hold over this, we've got I, which is info. Then why is everything hiding? When we look at the attributes, we can see the fitting there. So we can see it requires a high power slot, requires a turret hardpoint, which are these dots here. This is a missile hardpoint here. It tells you CPU usage. It's all measured in TF, so this is 3.6, and then you've got power grid usage, 6 megawatts, and the power grid down here, 31.2 megawatts. So it's a small basic ship, and it's here really to do the missions. You'll get loads of ships, and you'll get quite a bit for doing them. This opens a regional market on which, other than a few basic items, every single thing that's on here has been created by players. This is so like your blueprints will be basic items, but if you go to ammunition and charges, you will find that things like these are created by players, and this is where your industry mogul comes in. This is reprocessing. So when you're mining and you're getting the raw ore from the rocks, you will need to refine those into the components, which can then be used to make items. The industry tab. We've got repair shop, so if you get damaged, you can repair your ship. Clone bay. Now you can have with research multiple clones in different areas, and then you need to be in your pod, but you can switch between clones. So you can have like a cloning in main system where you're based with your corporation, and then you can have another clone in, say, one of the market hubs, and then you can transfer your character to your other clone so that you can do some market trading or like that. And then we've got character customization where you can just look like. So that's station services. Not all stations have all facilities, so but you can find that when you're doing a search for them as to what's got what. So click on the undock button. So undock button. Oh, she's down there. Right. Okay, so undock is up here. Typically, it's over here because it's part of the mission, but it's up here. And now, click that and undock from the station. Takes a few seconds and then you get spat out into space. So, as I was saying, this is your ship information. The outer ring on here reflects your shield. The inner one reflects your armour, and then the centre one reflects your structure. You can do tanking in terms of how much damage you take and how you deflect that damage. Either shield tanking, armour tanking, structure tanking. Typically, shield or armour with different characters, different races have different traits. Different ships have different traits as to which one's going to be best for what. Again, there are loads of websites that I will put onto my site so you can have a look at those. In here is your capacity. So that will go down as you do things. So if we walk to location, you'll see the capacity level there has just dropped slightly. We don't have much to go with regard to that. So we've got afterburner. Now, active modules have a little green dot at the top. And then this is your Gatling pulse laser that you get with it. We have multiple options down here on the left hand side. So we've got hold and base. So we can look at the ship's hold. We can drop that down there. And we're going to need to right, so just round, so we've done that. And the seeker and target. And we want to orbit at 1000 meters. And we start shooting at it. So our active ship is here. So this is our inventory. Your inventory is a given size, although you can get modules to increase the size on your of your inventory. Then you've got a drone bay, where you can have drones that will assist in fighting or defence. Certain ships are specialised in that they will give Enemy wreck gone in. So certain ships will have mining ships will have an ore hold where it holds the ore outside of your normal inventory, and then as you get better ships, you get more specialised areas to hold certain things as well. So open the cargo bay on there, and we can drop that straight into ours. Opened up two inventories. Okay. So anyway, back down to here, we have a tactical camera, which looks over the top, gives you height and speed indications for the ships in your area. You have a tactical overlay, which does the same kind of thing, but gives you a distance indicator, so you can see how far things are, and you can switch down to back to the orbit camera, which is your default setting. That looks at you in first person or third person, case may be. We've got scanners, there's probes, moons, directions, and solar system mapping. Solar system. Yes. You can zoom in and out. The little X marks the spot you are here. Anything which is unknown has a little red cross, and then other things as asteroid belts, and what are classed as anomalies. So these are areas to go to and fight other NPC mobs in the game. And we've got other planets, and then at the centre is the sun, just there, the star. So, and we want to escape that. We just press escape, close the area map. We can go into first person and pilot the ship, but almost nobody does that. Autopilot. We'll talk about autopilot when the time comes. So we've done that mission. We've now got 10,000 disc as a bonus for doing that. Right, Concord has intercepted seeker signals. Espionage is suspected. Head to the site and interrupt their data transmission. So we'll go active with that mission. View disk balance. Started with 5,000. 15. Click. Okay. So, tutorial missions. We're going to warp to location. Okay. So let's go to the nearest tower. Going to orbit that. If we hold mouse over here, we can see the range of the weapon we have, which is about 4,500 meters down to 3.5 for actual effectiveness. As you can see, we're just taking a hit down here. Shield is going into the red. lock target before we start shooting it. And then we can lock the other target. Well, and the number of targets you can hold based on his skills, and we'll have a look at skills, skill trees, and how they work. Once we've done these first few missions. Okay, so to orbit. It doesn't matter that we're missing here, we're not using any. Typically missiles give you the longest range. Then you have things like railguns and items like that that will hit close to the same range, but missiles typically the one, but they're slow. You got the railguns and projectile ammo, which is significantly faster but has a smaller range. And how quickly your ship goes in comparison to your opponent's has a massive bearing. So, so we're going to have a look at the character sheet, which is our glorious, happy, smiling face up here. And then we can see in here we have our current home station, our current standing, security status, our total net worth, our clone state. Basically, when you're free playing, you can only, or alpha state, you can only level certain skills to certain levels. You can only have a skill queue of 24 hours at any given time. So you can only queue up enough skills that start within 24 hours. Don't have to end in 24 hours, but start in 24 hours. And then you have you can only do certain levels. So if we look on where it's yellow, you can't use certain ones within those. If you have a mega level, which is where you're paying for the game, costs about £10 a month. And to be honest, well worth it. You can have an unlimited queue that runs twice as fast in terms of training, and you can level any skill that you have the skill book for. Certain skills do require you to buy the book for them. Some you will already have, some of which you'll get in missions. But yeah, the primary base for the skill books is going to be your primary hubs for the various races. Right, so let's have a look at under the skills tab, select gunnery category. Gunnery is okay. So now if we look at here, we can see we've got gunnery up to level 4 at the moment. Look there, we can locate the skill surgical strike. Now these are in alphabetical order, so whatever the skill's name is further down. So you can see surgical strike is there. Now, a skill you can train is grey. A skill that you need the skill book, you need to purchase a skill book for, is a small grey dot. A skill that you have the skill book for is a large grey dot. Now, as alpha, the skills you can train are in grey, the skills you can't train are in gold. So, for example, we can't train small Vorton projector, but we can train small pulse laser specialization, but only up to level 3. We can't train level 4 and 5. Now, train a skill, you simply click on it and drag it down here. And it goes into the queue. And you can see that that particular skill is going to take 1 hour and 6 minutes to train up. Now, what we can do is we can queue skills up here. So if we want to drop in small energy turret, we can drop that in beneath that, and you can see your queue goes up here, and these go in with the lines underneath. So, and say we want it to go up, and as you hold the mouse over each of the skills, it gives you a little indicator as to what they do. So, training up sharpshooter gives a 5% bonus to the weapon's optimal range. Motion prediction gives an increase to the tracking speed. Rapid fire gives a 4% bonus to the rate of fire. And surgical strike, which we just set to train. Knowledge of the structural weaknesses gives a 3% bonus per skill level to the damage. Trajectory analysis gives you a 5% bonus to the turret accuracy fall off, so it reduces the distance between the accuracy fall off and the range of the overall range of the item as a weapon. So we'll drop in another surgical strike. So we can do surgical strike 1, then small energy turret 2, and then surgical strike 2. We can drop those in that order. And then what we can do is we can literally drag these around in here. So we can put surgical strike 2, we can drop that down. And then if we fill up this range, we can see this now, we're getting up to 12, 13, 14 hours. Now we can add another 14-hour one in there, but that will take us over the 24 hours that we're allowed to queue up. So it says there that you can only hold skills starting within 24 hours. So if we put this small energy turret in there, that will take us to about 21 hours. And then what we can do is we start running Gunnery 5. Oh, that's a 9-day skill. Now, the benefit here is that skills train while you're offline. So, if you have your skill queue like there, it's currently set to what's that? About 1 day, 10 hours. So you don't get to log on within that time and add anything else into your queue. Those will still run until that queue runs out. So, ideal if you're on Omega, you have a paid subscription for a long time, you can quite literally just queue up. Well, if you paid for a year, you could queue up 365 days worth of training, leave it for a year, come back, and that training will have all done within that time. While you're paying for the game and while you have that state, you will have that ability. So, of the tabs we've got here, skills is the first one, characters the second one. Now, a character, you have augmentations, which are implants, your jump clones and what location they are, your attributes, which are your basic skill points, so perception, memory, willpower, intelligence, charisma. And what you can do is with your augmentations, your implants, you can boost certain skills, certain abilities within here. And these skills, when we look at them, when we look at the information on a skill, we can see that the attributes used on a skill, you can reduce the time on a skill by improving the attributes used to train it. You have a primary attribute and a secondary. So if we raised perception by adding an implant for perception, that would reduce the time taken on skills. Very beneficial on these skills that take 9 days to do, or longer, as some of them are. But to get those skill times, those skill queues down, get training faster, you can implant to enhance your primary attribute, or you can change those. So the character is there, and then we've got your home station, which tells you where it is. You can set destination in there. Interactions, who have you been talking to, what your states with the various factions. Pilot services, so this is where you can buy Flex, which is game currency, which can be sold to other players for in-game credits. So if you buy 1500 Plex with real money, you can sell 1500 Plex to another player, and that player will buy that because they can use that then to buy game time. So if they're effective miners or effective pirates or whatever, they're making money, decent money. What they can do is they can make the money, buy the flex, and never actually pay for the game. Takes some doing. Skins, you can apply skins to your ships so they have retain the basic shape but have a different colour scheme. And then there's history of employment, who you've been working with, your what agencies, things like that. And then you have skills, what skills you've. So that's your character screen. We'll close that down and continue the tutorial. So open the tutorial in the agency and claim reward. It's another 15,000 ISK. Takes up to 30,000. So chat channel. Oh yeah. There's always someone talking in the chat channels. Communications in the area being blocked. Find the source and eliminate it. Okay, so we're going to accept that. Okay, so we shall walk to that. Chat channel. Okay, so information for the chat channel. So click on there, double click on one or the other. It pops up a window, typically sits down on the left here, which has your various chat. People in your local system. People only show up in high sec. They show up if they've spoken in chat. In low sec, they show up if they're in the region, and in null sec, which is no security, and in wormhole space they don't show up if they haven't spoken. Very good for hiding, not very good if you're trying to find. Okay, so what have we got? Maybe there's only one way to find eliminate. Oh, something's attacking me. I can't find. There we go. I need to sort out my overview. All the if you click on most of these windows, I'm just going to orbit that bit, 1,000. Most of these windows have a menu option. If you click on the 3 dots in the corner, or if you click on the cop, so there you can set channel settings. There you can set your active ship inventory settings. Here we can set our overview. For some reason mine might be because I've got different Yeah, I've got different overview from one of my other characters. So mine's a bit weird. Yours will be different. Let's go and open that loot and get some more metal scraps. Oh. Right, so we'll get that one. Is that loot? Once a ship has been destroyed, if you're orbiting it, you will carry on moving in a straight line after it's been destroyed because there is nothing left to orbit. You don't automatically orbit the loot. So you have to keep an eye on that because if you take your eye off the item, you can just zoom off into the distance without realizing it. Okay, so done it again. Okay, so to approach that. Okay, chat window. Yep, tell me about that. Obviously, when you do these, you'll get the same information. Given to you, so all the tutorial will teach you about all the various windows. Excuse me. So, going to approach there with that other one. And we're back to the tutorial. We'll claim that. So we're going to finish off this tree on this setting tonight. So we've got afterbit speed, so we can get the ship. Right, scanners detected a spatial rift nearby. Concord suspects that seekers are attempting to locate their operation, prevent them from doing so. Okay, so we're going to do this. Which I'll get a new ship, a new gun, and some ammunition to go with that. Now, to organise your ship's inventory down here, what you can do is right click on a free space and then click on Stack All, which just combines everything that's in different stacks into the same stack. If they're the same item, of course. Different things will give different, will stack independently. Right, so we're here. Now, one of the tricks with combat is that if you could see a target here in your overview, what you can do is you can hold down Control and click on them, and that will automatically target them. So we are going to orbit. We're going to enable our afterburner, which is down here. Now the afterburner, you see your ship speed down here. The afterburner boosts that up quite massively from what it is. You can see this actually appears to be trying to run away. Oh no, it's starting to be reeled in right now. Doing a little bit of damage, but not much. So we've got our guns firing. We're set to orbit him. Because we're going in a straight line, his shots are just hitting us straight away. But when we come into orbit, we should start being missed more and more. So, there we go, he's dead. up. Thank you. Right, find the station, right click, so we're going to go back and dock in the station. And while we're doing that, we're just going to stack all. Kind of OCD about keeping my inventory tidy on here. So we'll see how that goes. Now, when you dock up in station, shield damage is typically repaired automatically. Hull damage and armour damage has to be repaired using repair services in station. Also, there's a thing called tethering, which is when you're within a docking distance of the station, you'll see an effective aura coming out to your ship, and that is a tether aura. So while you're within that tether, you're also prepared for your shield from as well. Okay, activities, tutorial, claim rewards. Okay, so access the fitting window. Fitting window either here or here. It's usually the same icon. Typically, you can only do fitting while you're in station. And if we have a look at our station inventory, we have our ship hangar, which has our active ship highlighted, our item hangar, which has the rewards from the last mission, and then if you have any plex, it will be visible in here. So we're going to go into our item hangar. We've opened up the fitting window. We're going to drag our civilian Gatling pulse laser, and we're going to drop that in here. We've been given 2 lasers, dual light pulse lasers. Drop those there. Lovely. Now then, we've got ammunition pulse. Now, how we're going to use this ammunition is we're going to drop it, pick it up and just drop it straight on. That will automatically equip it and use it. Then we're going to take the other 2 and then move them into our inventory on our ship so that we have the ammunition there. We're going to go to our ship there. I'm going to drag the metal scraps that we got out into the item hangar. And there we go, our ship's now been upgraded. So, I'm going to do this. I think I've just done that without actually getting the claim your rewards. So I've done that now, so I can just claim the rewards. That's fantastic. So another 10,000. So Battle of the Ruins. Test your skills with this combat mission. So we'll activate that, which will then docking. So we're going to undock from here, and should see once we've undocked that our shield is fully healed, which is always good. Now our 2 guns are here side by side. They've got the indicator for the ammunition that's in them. We can see our fall off range has doubled to 8,000 meters, and our optimal range is now 6,000 meters. So, going to walk to location. Now, one of the things you can do with the weapons here is you can group them by clicking on one, dragging it over the other one. And what you'll see when you do that is all of those items have a small faint number in there. Now, those are hotkeys for enabling or activating that module. So you have the F keys across the top, and then Alt plus F, and then Control F in each of the 3 areas. So by grouping the guns together, you only have to press F1 to activate that module, and that will shoot with both guns at the same time. So we're coming in. We now have 2 Sentry Towers. Now these are organised by range, so we're going to control click on the first one, control click on the second one, and we're going to press F1, which is going to start firing on the first one. And what we're going to do is just going to set to orbit the second one, and we are going to press F1, and that second one starts going down. It should go down just first one dies, and we've got mobs coming in. Now we can control click on these in turn, and then as they start shooting them, you'll continue to shoot the one target until that's dead, or until you stop and restart shooting. So you won't automatically move over to the next one and automatically start firing. You have to start firing again yourself. So we're going to just go in there, shoot that, and then we have more coming in. These are a bit further out. So we're going to choose to orbit that one, but we're going to try and shoot that one. Now we're going to turn on our afterburner because that speeds us up, which makes us harder to hit. So at the moment our skills only allow us to manage 3 targets, the skills and the ship, so we can't target that one at the moment, but we can start shooting that one. And then start shooting that one, and then this is the one that we're orbiting, and we can shoot that one. Then we can see all of these. So what we're going to do is we're all dead. Now, when these have, when they drop loot, if they actually have dropped anything, you'll see the indicator here has a little square box on it. Once something has been looted, that box will change to empty. Show that one in a second. And we can see the icon. If we go to the loot here, see that empty, and then we've got contains loot items on each of those. So if you opened it, it goes grey, dark grey, and then you can click in here and approach. Do them in order, closest to furthest away, just optimizes your time. And you can also, you have the same context menu here as you do in space, but it saves trying to find things in 3D when they're just easily visible list. So again, we're just going to stack all here. What we can do is just drop that inventory down there. Don't need to close it. And as we approach these ships, we'll just get the loot brought in. So oh, 100,000 disc on that one. That takes us up to 160,000. Right, so we are now with that ship, and then we just got that. You see the rest of them have been looted. And certain missions and things like that, you'll want to loot a particular ship because that's the one that drops the items or the best items. The rest of them. So you'll be looking out for that. It's again much easier to see. You can sort by distance, by name, or by type within. So let's set destination in the info panel. Visit one career agent. Okay, so we have set destination down here. This destination tells you where you are. You've got a route for your autopilot. And then these are missions that CCP, the creators of the game, putting out to give you bonuses. So, set destination. Our destination is 2 systems away. Now, if we go to the overview, you can see your destination is set in yellow. The overview, and then what you can do is right click on it, select jump, or if you click on it up here, your options become highlighted. You've got align to. Now, if you're in a corporation and you're doing battles and things like that, you will often be told to align to hotkey for that day. You've got warp to within, hotkey for that is S, and then jump, which is D, so ASD on the keyboard. So with the item highlighted, you can press D, and that will set your warp, and you will warp to that location. So if you warp to a jump gate, which is what this is, Stargate, you will end up, or if you use the autopilot, you will end up within 12 kilometers of the gate and then have to slow roll to the actual gate. Now, if you're going through territory which is low security or low sec, null sec, which is no security, means you're not protected in any way, then you are open to attack. Now, when you're open to attack, you can be jumped when you're autopiloting to a gate or away from a gate when you exit on the other side. So I've exited that gate here, and if I'm out, I have a little cloak on for about 30 seconds, and that gate's 13 kilometers away. Now, if I set that there and set the autopilot, which is down here, that will jump you in 12 kilometers away, and then you have to travel in very slowly. You don't want to do that. Ideally, you want total control. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on there, make sure it's highlighted. You have a list of the various stars there. Jump systems in that from there. You can click jump. That will drop you into within jump distance of the gate, and you'll immediately jump as soon as you can. Now, what you can do is you can set up, we could, for example, go to the map here, which gives you a local view or global view of the area surrounding you. What you can do is you could say, I want to go there. You right click on this and set destination. That will give you a path through to there, following the shortest route according to that. These guys are Autothesian Lancers. Do not attack these at all. Wherever you see them, you will die. It doesn't matter how big or strong you are or anything like that, you will die. I have lost some very expensive, very big ships to those because they continually come through and they will just kill you outright. They're very bad, and they'll stop you from getting away, so they will ultimately kill you. So, right, inventory. Stack all. Good job. Right, now then, we're docking in a new station in a new system. That gives me an ideal opportunity to show you some more of the things that we have down here. This is your inventory. This is your inventory screen. This is your assets. Now, while you're playing the game, you will get assets in different locations. They will be pretty much wherever you buy something, or if you move something to a location so you can sell it to get more money for it, or like that, where I've just dropped off those scraps, left them in the station where we were, and then if you can see here, we've got the Gatling pulse laser that we dropped off and the metal scraps. Now we are here. The only thing that we have in this station is a ship. I drop that into the item hanger. You can see that comes here. So we now have things in two different stations. One thing that you can do in here is if you want to go back to there, you can right click and set destination, and that will take you back to that location when you undock, and then you can start warping. So then you've got your wallet down here, as I said before, you've got a regional market fitting. Your regional market can be accessed anywhere in space. Fitting window can be viewed, but not, you can't typically operate it while you're in space. Right, so select the agents missions. Where am I? There. Okay, so now we have mission agents, storyline agents, and career agents. Agent finder, when you get your abilities up and your faction level with the various agents for completing their missions, you can actually choose to find higher level agents, higher level missions, and they give more money. So we can click here, and we have here 5 different things. So we've got business, exploration, industry, military, and advanced military. 5 different career paths, which we'll go and carry on with tomorrow. And these are just, you follow each one in turn all the way through to the end. You'll get free ships, you'll get lots of money, you'll get items that you need, and all the good things that you need for to actually get a good foot up in the game. So when things happen, near-com menu will flash, then you can see your activities flash, and then you've got a journal. Now what you can do is you can drag this journal and put it onto your near-com bar over here. Now what that means is if you're doing missions, and a lot of missions, you can click on this to pull up mission information to find out what was been said. Helps to give you a location, helps to get back on track if you lost track of where you were up to, which is always good to have. So I'd always keep the journal on there whilst you're doing the missions. You've got help, always help if you. So we're going to come back to this tomorrow, and we're going to do a bit more on. I think we'll do the first 10 in the agency's career, and then see how we get on with that. So thanks for watching. Have a good night.